I am sitting in the back of the Pleasure-Way on the couch. The couch at the moment is deployed into bed mode, so it's right up against these opposing ottomans. If you're familiar with how a Pleasure-Way floor plan is laid out, you've got these opposing ottomans facing one another on either side of the aisle. And what happens is it forms a U-shaped seating area with the couch. Then at night, in bed mode, you bring the couch down, which is where it's at now, and then you bring these back cushions in on the boards over here. It makes for a massive sleeping area in the back of the Pleasure-Way, which is great. But I felt it was important to use some of that sleeping space for my upgrade to the van. If you remember way back when, in the beginning of Humble Road, I actually stole this ottoman on the galley side, or the starboard side of the van, and I put in a double drawer thing from Home Depot, and I had a nice little workstation on the end. My wine rack was on the side. I had a ball doing that, and I enjoyed traveling with that setup. It was just wonderful. It was very DIY, very rudimentary. We've come a long way since then. I learned from that experience that the armoire, the dresser, whatever it is I was going to put in place was better on this side because the television is here. So when I bring that back to an ottoman, I've got an L-shaped lounge area to watch the TV. Now, June and I have used this situation with the one ottoman taken away from the sleeping area, and it's fine. There's plenty of room for two people right here. In fact, there's kind of like a little L shape right in here. When these cushions are in place, you can sleep. It works. We've done it. It's okay. So I had no problem knowing I could dedicate this entire ottoman space to my upgraded components and dresser, and it wouldn't affect our sleeping area. You get the point? So this is a prototype. This is some beautiful white oak that I used in van number 1, and this was what was left over, and I can't use it for anything because it bowed while it was standing waiting for its next assignment. I can't use it, it's bowed. So I use it to make my prototype here. And then I took it back out, I made some changes, and I built a really nice finished piece out of birch. Alex is going to edge band it, and we're going to stain it and try to get it to match the Pleasure-Way interior, the log cabin look. But it's a far cry from a log cabin now with these components. So, before I show you what's inside this dresser, let me just explain. I'm going to have a Lagoon table mount right in this little corner here. It's buried. You won't see it. And the armature's right here. So what's going to happen is this tabletop, it's the top of the dresser, but then it will swing out for dining, workstation, whatever you want. I've got it set up so I get a full 180 degrees of mobility on that tabletop. And what I've done on the inside now, this wall is prototype. It's going to be a little bit lower. And what I'm going to do is I'll put a floor into this box just above my inverter. And you're going to have about that much storage space. And the way you access it is move the table out of the way, and that's all wide open storage for sweatshirts, beach towels, whatever you need to put in here. Originally, I thought I was going to build a drawer or a couple of drawers, but once I got to building the prototype, I came to learn that the drawer mechanisms and the carcass of the drawer itself would just take up so much space, you'd end up with one little drawer, which just wasn't worth it. It's much better this way. You take that table out of the way and boom, you've got this big, beautiful open space to store stuff. It could be camera gear, it could be towels, whatever I said. So let me get this out of the way, and then I can show you what we got going on inside this new dresser. Now, we have a Xantrex 3000 watt inverter. What I like about these inverter chargers is that you can also bring all of your AC through this machine, through this inverter charger. So your shore power can come in here, and the way I wire these things is all the electrical outlets that are available in the van are available for your use anytime you need them, as long as the inverter's on or you have shore power. A lot of companies will just dedicate a few outlets to the inverter, and the rest of them you can only use when you're on shore power. Why would you do that? I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So I wire all of my 120 volt outlets through this inverter. Now, clearly, you can't exceed 30 amps. Okay, that's what you'd have coming in. That's what you're going to push through this inverter, 30 amps. So it's fine. It's what we're all used to. So this is the brand new XC Pro 3000. Very nice inverter. Do I have my, yeah, here. Xantrex finally caught up with the rest of the community or the industry in terms of their interface. You know, the older monitors that Xantrex put out reminded me of a Casio watch. And I told them, please update your interface. Well, they did. Now this is Bluetooth as well. So you can put this on your phone. You can control it from your phone. You can check all of your systems from your phone. Lithionics battery has a Bluetooth app for their battery. So this van has come into 2021 in a big way. The van itself is a 2010 Sprinter. It's got 65,000 miles on it, so it's an infant. This van's got a lot of life left in it. And when I bought it from the factory, it had a 100 amp hour AGM battery to power the house. Now in 2010, that's what you did. We've come a long way since 2010. So now, I'll show you later, we got a 315 amp hour lithium battery from Lithionics. I've got my 3000 watt inverter. And what I decided to do over here is, Will Prowse kind of sold me on this. He did a review on this. This is a product from Renogy. It's a dual charger. This is a MPPT solar controller as well as a B2B, battery to battery or DC to DC charger. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to have our solar come in on one side, 400 watts of solar on the roof, which is the maximum this can take. And on this side, we have wires coming from our chassis battery and alternator. Now, in this particular Sprinter 2010, with the factory alternator, I can bring 30 amps of charging back to this controller. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to have 400 watts of solar on the roof. I'm going to have 30 amps coming every time you drive the van into this charger. Now, this does go against my philosophy of redundancy and keeping your options open. If that piece of equipment goes down, I've lost my solar and my alternator charging ability. That is a problem. But this little component is $249. I almost want to just buy a second one to have it at the ready in case this one does fail. It would be that easy to just unscrew 4 wires and put the new one in place. So I want to give this a shot because it saves me a lot of room. I'm not worried about saving money when it comes to convenience and doing things properly. I'm saving room here. I've got a lot of room up front now for breakers and fuses. And one of the things I do, still going? Oh, good. One of the things I do is, for instance, the wire coming from the solar panels will get to a breaker, then to the Renogy. The reason for that is that breaker acts as a switch as well, so you can isolate the solar panels, shut them off from the system if you need to. Same thing with the contacts coming from that alternator. I'm going to break it first so you can turn that off and isolate it if you needed to. From there, going to my positive bus bar, I'll use fuses. So the system is all worked out. I've got it all planned out, and it's coming together nicely. What I found, which was very helpful, are right angle or 90-degree lugs for my 4-aught battery cable. 4-aught's tough to work with, and you don't want to bend this too far that you start to stress those strands inside. So 90-degree lugs allow for that line, that cable, to come out of the inverter and immediately turn down towards my positive bus and my ground bus. I got both of them here. If I didn't have these 90 degrees and I'd have to come out and have a kind loop, a gentle loop, I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm going to have a wall here. You saw the dresser that goes here. So this was a big find for me. This inverter, I think it's 20 pounds as compared to the other one, which is 75 pounds. Get these guys out of the way. It's like playing Tetris, dry fitting all this stuff. But it worked out very well. This wheel well box, as it turns out, was perfect for everything I needed. My batteries are under the fridge. I got my positive and my ground coming in. And this is the slide out module. So this baby sets right in there. I got plenty of room to work on it and put my torque wrenches on it. You'll have a breaker to shut off all your DC power if you need to. The system is very similar to what I did in the plumbing with Vagabond Van. I'm trying to isolate each of the different segments of this system in case you need to isolate or there's a failure. You can still proceed with your van life and not be completely disabled. Did you notice here? This is factory now. No insulation on this wheel well. All right, bare. Not even any sound deadening. So what do you think I'm going to do? Before I lock down that platform for the final time, I'll put some Noico, rattle trap, whatever you want to call it, on this wheel well, and then I'll put some insulation on it, and then we'll close it all up. So that's what I got going here. Let me show you this battery, which is an incredible little battery. Basically, what I've built here, this is a baby Mama Luke system. That's what this is. You've seen my other videos. I will continue to put the big beast of a 600 in my van builds. Lithionics has made some changes and improvements, and that 600 amp hour battery, UL listed, the only one, is now 630 amp hours. And that's what I'll be putting in Mr. and Mrs. Sprinter's van, as well as Sam van. 630 amp hours in the same footprint. Let me show you what I got going on over there. Now I'm under the refrigerator. The top 2/3 of this space are now dedicated to the new refrigerator from IsoTemp, smaller fridge, AC/DC. Down here is my battery box, okay? Right now, I have a 315 amp hour lithium battery from Lithionics. This is the very battery that is in the new Winnebago Revel, okay? I don't know if any of you have seen that video where the guy from Liechtenstein RV, no, it's, you know the place, it's in Forest River, right outside the Winnebago factory. I think it's Liechtenstein. Anyway, he did a test where he ran the air conditioner in a new Winnebago Revel, and he ran it till it wouldn't run anymore. That was on this battery. That's this baby right here. And then James and Stephanie from Fit RV, they just got a new rig coming their way from Winnebago. I think that's called the Etzel. It's called the Etzel. They have 2 of these 315s for a total of 630. If you look at this space in here, I've got plenty of room for another 315, and you just daisy those babies together, a 12 volt, not 24, and you'll have 630 amp hours of battery power in this van right here. Space is there. That's why I put this back where I did. I've got my battery shut off here, Everything is 4-aught cable. One of the things that I'm doing here is I'm going to be using a terminal. Can you see this? It's a terminal fuse. You screw this onto your battery positive terminal, and this is a 300 amp fuse. You see this? So that slides on like that. You seeing that? And then your positive cable, of course I ran out of 5/16 4-aught lugs, so I got to wait for more to come in so I can connect this up. Here's more right angle lugs on this switch. Anyway, this sits right on top of your battery, and that's where you're fused. That's about the safest as you can get. If this fuse blows, you've got big problems that you need to address. You're not going to just be resetting a breaker. So that's why I'm using that. Everything I'm doing in here follows the marine industry and the Yacht Council regulations. This is a Group 27 or Group 31 battery. This is the, you've seen these. I'm not going to say the brand name, but those 100 amp hour lithium batteries, they're blue and gray. This is 100 amp hour, right? 315. You would need 3 of these, and you're still not at the capacity of this. And yeah, you could fit 3 of these in here, but you're not fitting 6 of these in here, and I can get 2 of these for $630. 6 of these would not give me $630, and they don't fit anyway. So I like Lithionics because I've got no attachment to them. I'm not being paid. I look at their specs. They are UL listed on these batteries. I think they're the only company making UL listed batteries for vans. Safe. That's a steel case. Safe. Okay, this one has an internal BMS. If you stack 2 of them together, they talk to one another. And I have a Bluetooth app that runs this battery. So I'm very excited about this system. I got 30 amps coming in to charge while we're driving. I got 400 watts of solar on the roof charging, and of course we have shore power. If you plug in, I think that inverter is giving me 150 amps of charging capacity on the batteries. There should be no problem. You should never run out of battery power. I got a new air conditioner, new Dometic air conditioner I'm putting on the roof. You'll see that in the upcoming weeks. But tomorrow, I've got my boys coming in, and we're going to be doing a lot of work to this van, putting solar panels on the roof. I'll show you. So we'll do that tomorrow. Ron and Nick are in the shop now to help produce the Humble Road vans. They each bring unique skills and, more importantly, passion. My brother was here for dinner the other night. I'm walking around the van showing him all the things I'm doing to upgrade this old girl. He says, I'm not listening to a word you're saying until you fix this. You replace this pad, or I'm not going to listen to another word you say. Consider it done, Mark. Consider it done.